All right, it is hashtag Friday Pie Day. Let's get the feel good techno going. I keep forgetting to turn on my techno music on the streams. This will be a quick stream. There's not a lot to talk about in the markets other than the fact that we pumped up to 83K yet again, smacked into that resistance, and then are kind of getting rejected from it right now. We'll see how that plays out over the weekend. S&P's pumping, gold pumped, absolutely ridiculous gains on gold this week. Pretty ridiculous gains on the S&P this week. Bitcoin's trying to get over 83.5, but it's having a tough time. We'll just put it like that. It's having a little bit of an issue. It is what it is, and nothing we can do about it. Now, as per the dude, okay, so anybody that's watching the stream, first and foremost, this is the Wolfer briefing for Wolfer Finance. This is not one of my TA streams, just so that you're not confused if you're showing up. This is not a TA stream. The TA stream will be in 57 minutes. Now, I did try to pump the market. I did call up the devs, and I was like, hello, devs. Hello, devs. Could you please pump Bitcoin? Could you please pump the entire crypto market so that we can sell at the top and fulfill the request of the one person in Discord that says that we should have sold the top. And unfortunately, they've only pumped it to $83,000 so far. I tried, man. I told you I would try this morning. I would try to call the devs and ask them to pump it to the all-time highs. Unfortunately, they didn't pump it to the all-time highs, man. I'm sorry. They pumped Avalanche to $20. I mean, it's 1/6.5 of the way there. So we should probably sell this. This is probably the top, right? I'm just gonna liquidate all of our assets and call it a day. Because I have no idea how to read charts, read the market, or trade, or do anything like that. In any case, all joking aside, yeah, dude, like, I mean, the market's up as it sits right now, but to all the people that are in the Discord, and they're like, we should have sold the top. What top, man? What top? Here? You think that's top? And that might have been a top on Bitcoin, right? But unfortunately, just because Bitcoin goes to an all-time high doesn't mean that the alts did, right? It is what it is. So you got to be patient, man. You got to be patient. Bitcoin's trying to pump. It's trying to pump right now. Is it going to? Probably not. That's just my bias. I mean, it's staying above this resistance or this 1 day whatever, right? Let's zoom in, show you what I'm talking about. So there is a falling wedge, right? And it's trying to get above it. Is it going to do it 110%? I mean, you can't call that. You can't say it. Like, if it gets above it, you're looking a lot better. We'll put it like that. If you get above this channel line right here, you're looking a lot better. But you got to close the daily candle above that, and you just got a death cross on the daily. I don't know, man. Could be a rejection at the 21 moving average too, right? 21 moving average is right there at 83.3. Rejection, been riding it down. Rejection, rejection, rejection. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what you do, you just got to be patient, man. Now, President Trump did sign a resolution erasing the IRS crypto rule on DeFi. That's pretty crazy. The successful reversal of this IRS rule marks the first time the industry got a significant pro-crypto effort through Congress. That's nuts. They actually, that is pretty wild and pretty dope if you want to get technical about it. Wow. And he actually got it through Congress. I mean, this dude's kind of an animal, man. This dude's kind of an animal. He be getting stuff done. We'll put it like that. He gets stuff done. What's going on Bitcoin? All right. Let's check it out. Justice Department. Like I said, man, this dude's an animal, dude. This dude gets stuff done. they're disbanding their crypto-related enforcement team. If you know what that means, that was, if you remember Project Choke Point. Project Choke Point was like where they were basically choking out all the crypto companies and crypto regulation, stuff like that. They were trying to regulate the crap out of crypto and just go after all these crypto companies and stuff to basically suppress it during the Biden administration. He said, nope, not happening anymore. I don't, like, to be honest with you, I don't think Trump really cares that much about crypto. I think he cares about his crypto bags, but I don't think he really cares about crypto like that. I think he cares more about the economy, like the S&P, you know, this right here, essentially. I think he cares a lot more about this, in my opinion, this S&P, rather than, you know, anything else, right? And yes, it did have a wedge. If it broke under here, you could have shorted it, but it broke above here, so you would have longed it, right? You never got a back test. You came right back through. Boom, is what it is. Let's hide this. And right here, boom, perfect back test. Bam, right? But you're getting a nice little rounded top here. This thing might be ready to roll over at this resistance level, right? So it is what it is. But I think that's more or less what Trump cares about. I think he cares a lot more about the equities markets than he does crypto markets. So don't get it twisted. Like, don't think that this guy's out here just like campaigning and you know, like fighting the good fight for you, right? On this, okay? Because I assure you, he's not. He's not. He cares about crypto to a certain extent, but not in the ways that I think a lot of people think, okay? So with that being said, this is good, right? That they're basically breaking up Project Choke Point. Does that pump crypto? No, I don't think it changes anything fundamentally about crypto. What is this? Prostate alert. Jesus. These ads are diabolical, man. Attorney General calls for federal cryptocurrency regulation amid rising fraud. Here we go again. Right? The New York Attorney General. Surprise, right? Man, what is going on my screen? What is happening? Worst streamer in the world. You're welcome. Thanks a lot, Letitia James. We appreciate you. Regulating cryptocurrencies, warning the absence of nationwide standards, putting U.S. investors and markets at risk. Yet again, now scams account for 10% of all financial fraud. Crypto scams do now. 50% of all total fraud related to financial losses stem from crypto scams. $12 billion was lost in crypto scams in 2024 alone, just from Americans. Dude. So, like, I bet you can basically cancel out what Trump just did. Project Choke Point. This lady's like, nope. Proposed regulations require the U.S. presence for stablecoin issuers. Okay, that makes sense. We already have that, though. It's called Circle, USDC, and even Paxos has BUSD. Back stablecoins with USD or treasuries. Again, we already have that. Paxos and Circle. This lady's just bullshitting. That's what she's doing. Register all issuers and intermediaries. Again, we already have that. Anti-money laundering. Ban digital assets and retirement accounts. Okay, that's dumb. Prevent conflicts of interest. Go talk to your Congress people for that. Those guys are the ones that trade conflicts of interest. Identify and stop fraud. Yeah. Good plan, lady. Good plan, Letitia. Jesus. But Ripple did buy a prime broker called Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. So here's like, this is just kind of what I'm seeing and where things could be potentially going, right? I think Ripple is going to be a massive part of the international exchange of assets moving forward. And if you don't know why, right? So Hidden Road already was getting ready to use RLUSD, right? Which launched in December. And Ripple has some serious, serious government connections. Okay. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I do not have time to explain it here, nor will I explain it here. Go down the rabbit hole, see who's behind Ripple, see who's behind them and who their buddies are. And you'll kind of understand that, like, as much as I think a lot of people think that Cardano is going to be the thing, I think it's going to be Ripple. I think Cardano is going to have its place, but for all intents and purposes, I think Ripple is going to be the one, right? So it's kind of a terrible name though. Hidden Road, like, that's not an awesome name. You should probably change that. Cause it kind of breeds that, sows those seeds of doubt. Like, is this the Silk Road all over again? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this road really hidden? And you get where I'm going with it. Like, it looks weird. And then obviously we saw what happened with Trump, right? Trump put his tariffs on pause. Now, a lot of people think that he did that so that he could pump the markets. He didn't do that to pump the markets. He did that because the bond or the treasuries were getting overheated, okay? Needed to cool those bad boys off. And at the end of the day, if you can cool those off, you can get the Fed. You kind of almost force the hand of the Fed to then in turn lower interest rates. That's the actual play. It wasn't to pump crypto. It wasn't to pump the S&P, although that happened, right? And I mean, that happened like big time, right? So I'll show you what I mean by that. When he did that, I mean, that pumped crypto from, 77K up to 83K in like the matter of a couple hours. That was like a $7,000 pump. That's like a 10% pump very quickly. And then obviously a subsequent dump because people realized, oh, wow, that's just news-based BS. And they're only postponing it, right? They're not saying there's no tariffs. They're postponing it by 90 days. The tariffs they were. And yeah. So essentially what this person is saying, Ankish Jain is saying that Bitcoin's recovery may not hold. Well, if he knows what I know, he knows that there's this trend channel or this trend line up here that dates back all the way to pretty much the all-time high, right? And we've been following it down. Now, if you break above it, great, but like you got to close a daily candle above it, and then you got to confirm a daily candle above it. So, you really got to just close your daily candle above, like, I don't know, what, 82.5, right? That's what makes us bullish today, potentially. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's no guarantees, obviously, but, we'll see what happens. But I don't think that Trump actually did this to pump the markets, right? Now, let's see what this person's talking about. Turbulent week in markets ranged from 11% to as high as 50% across a range of trading partners. Okay, yeah, those are the tariffs. Yeah, China has 104 to 125% tariff now. That's wild. 84% tariff from China on us now. Wall Street reclaims. This is a long ass article, man. Come on, dude. Get to the point. Like, kidding me. Inflation, liquidity, and a dollar dilemma. That's another reason why we pumped today. PPI data came in. I believe it was like right here. And it was better than usual, right? But you still fell below this high. So a rally on thin ice despite. From a technical perspective, traders are closely watching the $83,000 to $85,000 range. Okay, good call out for Bitcoin. According to the market analyst Dan Crypto Trades, yeah, he sounds legit. This zone aligns with the 4-hour 200 moving average, a level that has repeatedly pushed back price tips. Let's look. Yep. Immediate rejection earlier off of it, too. Damn, Daniel. I mean, Dan. Damn, Dan. Called it, huh? Apparently. Let's see what his chart says. See if he knows stuff. Yeah, the danger zone right around 78.3. No, this guy's pretty spot on. Yeah, this guy's pretty spot on, I would say. It is 1 and no pizza today. However, photos have been left in the Discord. Bro, those photos were diabolical. That was the most horrible pizza I've ever seen in my life. It was wild. We got G Wood on the drums. Again, guys, this is not I know who you guys are. You always show up to the live streams for TA. These aren't the TA streams. But I mean, you feel free to hang out, right? We've got Jeremiah Keeter saying hashtag Friday Pie Day, baby. And yes, I did fail to pump the market. I guess we probably should offer them some pizza, the devs, because they're probably just hungry. They're probably just tired. So happy Pie Day, everyone. What about the descending broadening wedge on BTC starting 20th of January to now? R. Gilbert, man. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's like a megaphone pattern, but I wouldn't call that here. I would say bang. I would say this is a falling wedge, man. That's a way better. Like, because I see what you're talking about here, you know, like, but I would not call this. I mean, this is trying to tell you you're coming down to 45K. You could come down to 45K. I mean, anything's possible. Is it likely? I don't think so. We got Gianni, my Italian brother from another mother. Appreciate this person. Dude's an absolute legend. Yeah. So, in any case, Dan Crypto Trades basically told you what it is, man. We might be pulling back. But the good news is this, okay? Even if we do pull back, okay? Just be cool, everybody. Even if we do pull back, you're looking at a range down here of like to the previous all-time high, right? And what do I mean by previous all-time high? Well, scroll over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Boom. You bounce off of this 73.6, 73.8 range, you're good to go, right? And then we break out of this, and guess where we're targeting? New all-time high. So that the one person in the Discord that thinks they're special can get their sale at the top and get their $14 distribution or whatever. Honestly, once we get up here, alts are not going to be at all-time highs. You got to continue the pump from there. Once you get up near like 150 on Bitcoin, that's probably where alts are going to start like really moving. Okay. And what's really going to happen is what you really need to happen. This is just my opinion, right? And what the F do I know? You know, I'm just an idiot with a basket weaving degree, you know, with braids on the internet in a Discord server, you know, just a big dumbass. So, you know, pay attention to me, don't pay attention to me. I really don't care, right? But you're on my stream, you're on my channel, you're in my Discord, you're in my house, in my companies. You're going to listen to my opinion. So here's my opinion. Let's just say once we get up to a new all-time high, it kind of gets us out of the woods. Okay. And honestly, once we get above like 90K, it kind of gets us out of the woods, man. I think we need to bounce from at the worst case scenario 66 to 68. Okay. And if we can, that would be wonderful. If we can't, it's going to be more downside. And then you're just going to have to hold on and be more patient, right? No one wants to be patient. I get that. Everybody wants gains today, gains tomorrow. You want gains today, gains tomorrow? Go watch my streams where I literally give like 30 trades a day that make people ridiculous amounts of money and you don't even have to think about it. You literally just place the trade with the parameters that I set. I've like 8x people's money. So if you want money today, go do that, right? But if you want money today, don't be an investor, right? Because when you invest in things, it takes time. And there's a shit ton of stuff that's outside of your control, namely the market and where it's going and when it's going there. Yo, devs. Yeah. No, I told you to actually pump the market. Yeah, no, like up. More than this. This is, this is all you can do? Okay. I'm trying, man. I do control the markets, clearly. Drew Wolfer controls the markets. And I control what happens to these markets. And the only reason that we haven't pumped is because I said don't make it pump yet, because I don't want to liquidate Wolfer's assets. I don't like to make money. I don't want anybody to make money. With that being said, I think that honestly, if we see the S&P start to catch its legs, which I don't think we're going to see within the next week or so, we will probably see crypto rip out of this, right? Where am I at? We'll probably see crypto rip out of this. But when gold is setting new all-time highs every single day for a reason, you got to pay attention to it, man. And that's telling you, because how much money does it take to move gold? Gold's one of the biggest markets in the world. The elites, the big guys, the banks, the people with the big money, they're putting it into gold, right? Now, it's arguable. Some of them are putting it into crypto too, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't be so sure about that, okay? So I would just say be patient, trust the process, and have a good hashtag Friday Pie Day with your beautiful families. And maybe don't worry so much about this, because when you start worrying about things that are out of your control, kind of consumes your life and thought process. So just trust the process. That's all I can say. With that being said, I appreciate everybody for showing up. That's kind of the news-based stuff for today. Yeah, I mean, you saw me live try to call the devs. I called the devs and I said, hey man, pump it, and I called them earlier, whenever we were here at, 78,000, I was like, yo, you got to pump this stuff for me, man. I got people yelling at me in a Discord server, anonymous people. They're very scary. I'm freaking out. Like, please, devs. And they said they could give me $6,000 or $5,000. I said, just give me whatever you can, man. All right, I'm going to stop trolling everybody. I appreciate everybody for showing up. I will see you all on the next stream. If you want to make some money on some trades, I don't know, show up to my live streams or whatever, or, whenever I open up my private trading room, Discord, whatever server, where we've been taking ridiculous, redonkulous gains for the past 3 months. Get in there, take advantage of it. Luckily you've got somebody like me. 99% of places don't have somebody like me. It's like a verified pro trader. So if anybody's in good hands, it's you. So I will see you all soon. Peace.